Hey, hello everyone. This is Will Castello here, CEO and founder of Triad Cyber Solutions, and we're here for another session of our cyber security smarts. And I'm sorry, let me make some adjustments. I end up having the wildest day today where I had an appointment with a client, potential new client, and unfortunately, they had an immediate crisis. So I was actually there, sitting there at their location. I literally just walked out of their building, folks, because I had to help them. It was a client that we actually currently do their phone system for. They have no security. They have no implemented things that's going on in their systems. And unfortunately, what happened is I got called in to troubleshoot a phone system issue, and they had a whole network issue. The network, the printers, and the PCs. They got totally infected, y'all. So unfortunately, I apologize. I literally just walked out of their office. I could not let them happen, let them stay there the rest of the day that I was there. So I'm here literally in my vehicle. I literally just walked out of their office like 2 minutes ago. This is why I'm late, and I apologize. I'm very late for this security session here, but I walked out there, and this is the reason why, folks, we have to do these important things. You must make sure you have cybersecurity or you have the necessary compliance pieces in place. If you don't, you will fall short. One thing leads to another, then another, then another. But here, we're going to go ahead and continue. I'm going to go ahead and start the session here where we're talking about documentation auditing, how to handle your data. I just cannot, I'm just so pumped up right now because I'm on my hotspot on my phone. I'm in my vehicle. So I apologize if you hear the AC. It's hot outside. It's a great day, but I am going to still continue and do this session here. I just got done helping someone mitigate the issues that they have. And now we scheduled an appointment for next Tuesday to meet so we can get on board. They can get on board and get all these things and be protected. So here we go. We're going to talk about today about documentation auditing, audits, how to handle your data. Okay. Now, here again, I'm kind of go through this here, a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm in my vehicle. So day after day, businesses always suffer from data breaches. We have to be prepared. A lot of people are never prepared, just like this office here that I just left. They were not prepared. They had no types of security. They didn't even have a virus protection, or they had virus protection that came from brand new PCs. However, they didn't do anything. They didn't even activate it. They didn't do anything about it. So their data was compromised. It was taken, but I was able to put some tools and do some certain things on here to help them get them back up and running. Today, we're going to show you how and why documentation, why it matters, right? And how to make sure you have the right records and security incidents and things like that in place to make sure these types of things do not happen. First, I'm going to go ahead and say, please follow us on our social media platforms. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have our Twitter, which is X, we have LinkedIn and our YouTube. If you find this video or if you want to see any other videos, feel free to go to our YouTube page, and you go to our YouTube page and see all the videos of all of our content from all of our cybersecurity smarts that we've been having, webinars, etc. Okay, we're there. You can find us or join our page on our Facebook page at Triad Cyber Solutions and get connected with our newsletters. Get connected with our daily news about what's going on out here in the open. Okay. All right. Let's get back into this. What is documentation? Okay. In cybersecurity, documentation is the official record what the organization has done, right? It's all your information that you are doing, all your systems, all your client data is all what you're doing in your organization. But what happens is a lot of evidence show that people have documentation that is being seen by people that should not be being seen. Okay. So when it comes to a documentation audit, you want to make sure that you have a thorough process of how you protect information from certain people. You want to also make sure you have a process of how you protect when in fact it does get hit, because you will get hit. You want to make sure you have a process on how you can retrieve it and continue. You want to make sure you can safeguard your client's information, your documentation for your business. You want to make sure you can do all those things, okay? We have three of the top things here I want to talk about, right? Key elements of documentation auditing are, again, security policies. Do you have a written guideline to define how your security data should be held, should be stored, should be transmitted within the organization? Number 2, access logs. Do you have a process to show records of when someone has accessed the data? Do you have a process of when your data has been accessed, period? And do you have a history of the activity where data was moved, deleted, or even shared? Number 3, the training records. Everyone must have a sense where you have your employees' training documents, security risk, all your policies. You need to make sure that you're security conscious on how your data is being held. Folks, these are key points that you must remain as a top priority for you. Another key element is risk assessments. You want to make sure the reports are evaluating. They're evaluating potential vulnerabilities in your systems. You want to identify all the risk. You want to also make sure that we're taking the necessary measures to mitigate all of those things that are not good. You want to make sure you have an incident response plan. An incident response plan. Making sure that security incidents, including timelines, responsibilities, or communication strategies, are in place. Your incident response plan is when everything hits the fan, do you have a process to get it all back up and running safely and securely? When you do get hit in a crisis where you need to locate data, do you have a process of how you can find your data without compromising others and during the process? The next thing, vendor agreements, contracts by third parties that include cybersecurity clauses, ensuring that your internal partners meet the necessary standards. Do you have a business agreement signed by every vendor that comes in contact with any documentation, any data, any of your machines, computers, printers? Do you have a business agreement set up with them that states they understand the liability, and if they mishandle the data improperly, that they'll be held responsible? Chances are, I can bet 100 to none that you don't have these policies in place. This is why documentation matters. It's a regulatory requirement, folks. The FTC requires it. The IRS requires it. The state requires it. What this also does is help you with compliance. While you have the state, federal, local requirements, all those compliances, whether you're dealing with government contracts or the Department of Defense, dealing with CMMC, whether you're dealing with confidential information from people, social security numbers, phone numbers, addresses, HIPAA, GDPR, making sure you keep their information safe and secured. PCI compliance. You're taking credit cards. If you don't have these requirements, these compliance requirements in place based on your industry for documentation purposes, you will fail the audit. Folks, it builds and starts with trust. Your clients, your partners, your auditors, they want to see that you're taking the security and you're doing it. They want to make sure that you are being accountable and you're taking this very seriously. What it also does with documentation is it strengthens your incident response plan. Whenever, again, a crisis happens, like I just came out of, they didn't have anything in place. This is what we're going to talk about, helping them to get in place next Tuesday. Now, people talk about, well, how do you audit documentation? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to gather all the security-related records, the data, and we're going to check your processes. We're going to check what systems, what policies, what access logs, what training records, okay? What vendor agreements do you have? If you don't have those things locked in, you are suspected to fail a serious documentation audit. You want to check for completeness and accuracy, folks. Reviewing each of the documents is one thing, but you want to make sure you have all your I's and your T's crossed. And with that, you want to make sure it aligns with everything that you're supposed to do based on your compliance regulations by your state, local, and federal guidelines. Now, I'm going to go over a couple of key points about documentation's best practices. Number one, be proactive. Okay? Don't just wait. Don't just wait to see like, oh, you know what? We can use Dropbox. That's not being proactive. Okay? Number two, standardize your formats. Making sure you're using templates and checklists to make sure you cross and you deal with all the situations. Use centralized systems, cloud platforms, auditing systems. You want to make sure you have controls set to track changes that go on in your organization. Retention policies. You want to make sure in the event when people leave your company or they come onto your company, you have the ability to retrieve and retain your documentations. You need to conduct regular reviews. You need to train your team. Everyone should know where and how to access documentations. Well, folks, listen, I want to thank you again for taking the time to meet with us today. I want you to keep an eye on the big space here. We got something very, very big coming on in the next few months. It's something that's going to change, is revolutionizing the whole world. And again, if you're not dealing with these things, you will be left behind, folks. So if you feel like you have IT locked down, you don't, and you feel like you have cybersecurity locked down, you feel like you have compliance locked down, wait till that big surprise come, folks. We got a very big surprise on how and what we're going to do in the next phase of doing what we can do to help protect and keep you all safe. Until then, we'll see you here in another week or two. Folks, again, this is a lesson right now. I just literally came from a client who just has phone service with us and their network, their organization was infected. I have been at their location now for the last 5.5 hours. 5 hours. I had to take a time out and go work on and try to help them do some things. But folks, this stuff is real. Until then, I'll see you next time. Thank you again for joining us. We'll see you. Bye-bye.